All right. Well, let's talk about tonight first. A tough loss, but a very competitive game. What do you feel like was the missing ingredient tonight?
That's one on the spot. Missing ingredient. I think just the biggest piece was just trying to get into the flow of a game with a team that was very well organized, that made it difficult for us to do the things that we're quite good at. We brought in some personnel we had early in the season that, was back available to us. And so, you start throwing in big personalities into the mix, and that changes some things, and that definitely lifted the game for sure. We went with what we thought would be a solid group to get the game started like we did in the quarterfinal. And I think that some of the things were difficult as far as tracking some of the players. I mean, we knew they had some specialty players, and then it was just a matter of what do they actually look like within the run of play. And so I think probably the missing ingredient was it took us longer than it has in games past to get our rhythm, get our feet under us, and get into the flow of the game.
All right, let's zoom out. Maybe it's too fresh to step back and get perspective, but how would you sum up this season? Talk a little bit about the experience of starting from scratch and coming this far with kind of a brand new organization, certainly on the technical side.
I think, the first thing I'll say in closing for the season was that, the looks on the kids' faces were, mad. Not upset from a full standpoint, but just like a very unfinished business mentality. Like I think if they could take 2 weeks and come back and do it all over again, they'd have a different, that desire would be even heavier. So I think, looking ahead, I think you're going to have kids that really want to come back and be involved in the program. We're going to see some new faces. We're going to see some original faces back into the program, because I think they know what it meant to them, and I think they took a lot away from the experience. I couldn't have asked for anything better coming out of a non-coaching role to be back into it. These kids they were bought in, they made great relationships. I think lifetime relationships. There were some really good relationships built through this process. So I think now it's, getting these kids ready that want to still be around and train to get ready for their college seasons, letting the kids that are getting ready to leave to go into college. Let the old ladies have a little bit of time off and a break and decompress, and then, come later in the fall, we regroup and kind of build a roster and reach out to the players to see if they want to come back and secure some roster spots and, do a little recruiting.
What was your favorite part of this season? This whole journey across the last 2 months on the field and the handful of months that led up to May.
I think there were two things. I think one was just how the game and the community grew, right? The support grew, the love of Liberty, the support of Liberty. It just grew as the season went on. And you could just see that through just the fan base and the young girls coming out. I think that was really resonated with me as far as just the amount of growth the following had and took over these last 3 months. And then the second thing was just watching them score goals. That was, if somebody was going to beat us out of the season, it was going to have to take a few goals, because I think if we were still sitting in a 2-1, we'd be in overtime. And, I think it was just a matter of time, a matter of coming. And I think there's a lot of lessons that some of these players took away from them that they'll take back and learn from.